I'm Bob Fryer right here in the AAPEX studios, and of course we want to thank our sponsors, Repairify and Great Water 360 Auto Care. And right now, we are joined by Kathleen Callahan. She's the owner at Expert Tech. Great to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're talking about the right to repair, the Repair Act, and what's great is that I was in DC for the legislative fly-in,
yes.
Like 6 weeks, maybe 2 months ago?
Yeah.
You were there as well.
I was.
And you
was
played,
so fun.
actually, a very pivotal role, because the big news came out on, I think, a Wednesday or a Thursday night. They announced what?
They announced that we were getting a hearing for the Repair Act in front of the Energy and Commerce Subcommittee. So,
which was fantastic news, and they've been working towards that for quite a while.
Yes.
But then moreover,
well, then they asked me if I would be, they needed a Florida shop owner, and they knew I was in town and that I generally don't say no. And so they're like, will you do this little testifying thing? I'm like, sure, we'll help you.
Why not?
And the rest is history. It was, I'm not one that pays attention to that kind of thing. I rarely turn the television on. So I didn't know what I was really getting into. No, I had no idea until after. But it was a really exhilarating experience and humbling to be able to stand up for shops that aren't able to make it to the Legislative Summit or to AAPEX or any of the events, right? Those are the people that we're really standing up for. Yeah. So
that's what it's really all about. That's why that legislative fly-in for advocacy was so important.
Exactly, and the fight's not over, right? That's just the first step, and getting shop owners in, inviting Congress people to shops, to your place of business, to really show them the impact of what the independent aftermarket really does for not only the industry, but for our communities, how much we give back. I mean, I'm very active in my community on a daily basis, so much so that I don't even work anymore. So
very nice.
It's kind of nice.
Give me an idea what it was that you said, because then that would let people know, other shop owners, why should they care? And maybe the next legislative fly-in, maybe they make a point to show up and talk to Congress.
Exactly. So basically what HR 906 and the Repair Act is trying to do is to really hold the original equipment manufacturers accountable to share diagnostic and data information with whoever the client chooses to be their service provider. So if that's the dealership, then fantastic.
So be it. Yeah, great.
Right. But if it's an independent repair shop, such as my own, they want to make sure that it's a level playing field, right? So why should the dealer be able to access information quicker, faster, telematically, that I have to physically plug in and maybe get limited data from the vehicle?
Isn't there something to be said that, they may be able to get the data faster, but they won't be able to repair faster, because the aftermarket industry, 70% of all the repairs go through that.
Exactly. Right. So I'm not really sure what the point of starting to lock us out is, except that I don't think that there's really a huge handle on the data that they're collecting. I mean, there's terabytes of data going back to the manufacturer. And I always use the example of how much you weigh goes back to the manufacturer, down to the ounce. They know. It's something that we don't ever share with anybody, really, right? Personal information. Why do they need that? Airbags, safety systems. They have to have that information, but what are they allowed to do with that information? Do you drive with your hands on the steering wheel? 10 and 2, are you a 9 and 3? Do you cup it down at the bottom? Did you have your hands on the steering wheel while you were stopping at a light and somebody rear-ended you?
They have that information?
Of course, absolutely. There's sensors in that car all the time. Yeah. It's lane departure. It's all of these safety systems that really are leading us closer and closer to driverless vehicles. We all kind of want that, but as that happens, who owns the data? And who decides where you can go and what you do with it?
Let me ask you this, because it was a couple of years coming before you even got that hearing.
Correct.
And then you were tapped to speak, so that was a huge honor.
Yes.
How far into the process are we, and how far away are we from maybe getting an actual vote?
So we have 46 bipartisan support members in the House side. So hopefully the next step is to start to kind of really edit the bill as it stands, hopefully not too much, but really to get more people involved and then have the House vote on it.
Okay.
The Senate, there's nothing actively going in the Senate, but we encourage people to still talk to their senators about it, because it will eventually get there. But continuing to reach out to your local representatives in your state and let them know how important this is to our communities, our people, all the way down to like my clients. I want them to sign support for right to repair.
Okay.
You know, and it's not just automotive, right? This will also help other areas to really push their right to repair through as well if we are successful.
Okay.
So
fantastic. Well, congratulations on being
you.
able to, stand up and speak for the entire industry.
Thank you. I'm glad that I could do it.
All right, Kathleen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, we do want to thank our sponsors, Repairify and Great Water 360 Auto Care. If you'd like to see all that they do and they have combined forces, make your way down to Joe's Garage. I'm Bob Fryer. We'll be back here at AAPEX Studio shortly.